Welcome back on Fanspeak Network, and we're here for another best ball draft. This time, we're in the DraftKings streets. Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. I'm Spread Astaire. Tyler Hicks is here. Tyler, I really liked our draft last week. And, kind of flustered lately. I'm in the middle of moving, taking care of all these things. But yet we managed to come together and do a pretty good draft. So I'm expecting that again today. I'm thinking we're working pretty well. But let's give everyone a couple minutes to get in because obviously we're starting a little late and I'll make sure to tweet out that we're live right now. Give people 5-10 minutes to come in. So we've had some news since the last time we've talked. What do you think of everything? I'll just go ahead and I'll let you start. And then anything you don't bring up that I'm interested in, I'll ask you about. How you doing?
I'm good. I mean, I've been getting a lot of practicing with these best ball drafts. I did 2 of them on DK today, earlier in the $1 ones. So we're getting practicing. And falling in love with this late New Orleans stack spread. I mean, you can get Olave pretty late. You can draft Derek Carr in like the 14th, 15th round. And you can get Juwan Johnson right behind him because there's no Taysom Hill there anymore. But as for like news that's happened since we've last talked, I mean, a lot of the offensive moves have already happened since we've last talked. Nobody on the offensive sides have really moved. I know the 2 Bengals receivers got paid, but we didn't think either of them were going to move anyway. The quarterback situation in Pittsburgh is still in limbo. Who knows what's going to happen there? And, I mean, a lot of the signings have been on the defensive side. So, I mean, really doesn't apply to this much of a show. But what do you want to talk about when it comes to these moves?
So, first of all, I mean, I don't think we're really going to argue here, which sucks because I know we do like to argue and everything. But, I mean, didn't they make a huge mistake by the Bengals I'm talking about by not just getting these things done earlier?
Definitely they
cost
made a
themselves
mistake.
$10 million on the cap this year.
Oh, for sure. They made a mistake. T. Higgins and these guys should have been done before. Just like you've seen with Carolina, they got out in front of everyone with the cornerback market with J.C. Horn. Everyone was like, oh, maybe $100 million for him was a little bit too much. And now you look at these contracts these other guys are getting. They're blowing his contract out of the water. So you got to get ahead in some of these markets with these higher.
And some people were criticizing the Stingley contract, and it's going to hurt this year. But I think next year he's going to be in the same spot. And they're going to be happy that they have him under contract under the number they have him right now and not whatever the market gets reset at by, I don't know who the next one to do it will be. Probably Surtain.
It'll probably be Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce or Surtain. I think Stingley's better than Sauce, but not Surtain. What do you think?
I think Surtain's the best corner in the league, but Surtain, I believe, was paid 2 years ago. So I don't think he's going to.
So see, Denver did the same smart thing too.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the one to reset it. Sauce is the next one up.
All right. I'm trying to think what else happened. Not huge news, but let's see. Were we on when Devontae went to the Rams last week?
Yeah, we had already done that because Puka was our first round pick.
And we did DK to the Steelers already, right? We've talked about that. Yeah.
Same player as Pickens. Doesn't matter when we don't have a quarterback. So
great player, terrible contract.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other news. Cup does not have a land. Oh no, Cup's in Seattle. That's happened.
I don't think that means much to me.
I think it was actually a bad landing spot for him.
Because JSN does a lot of his damage out of the slot. So
that was exactly what I was going to say. And so now they're kind of, I mean, I know that it's a way less contract, right? But DK and JSN fit way better way together than Cup and JSN. Who's going to play out of the slot?
Yeah,
I make totally JSN your X? I don't know.
It's just
I
don't
know about that.
But just to touch back on that cornerback market, I have the numbers in front of me now. Surtain's at $24 million a year. Jalen Ramsey's at 24.1, J.C. Horn's at 25, and Stingley's at 30 million. The next 2 guys up are Sauce Gardner and Trent McDuffie, who are probably going to clear $30 million per year.
Yeah. And I think that Stingley's better than both of them. I mean, not by much, right? I mean, you can't really get too bent out of shape for paying Sauce Gardner, right? But yeah. So, all right. Let's see what other.
You want to go ahead and enter this draft? I mean, we got 37.
Yeah, let's enter the draft. We've given some people some time. I tweeted out 37 live. I'm sure most of those are on Twitter. Follow us on the Fanspeak YouTube channel. Tyler, I pulled it up last week, but I don't know where it is. We're pretty close to 500. There will be a giveaway when we do get to 500. And if you want to join the draft with us, do so right now. Tyler, count it down.
All right, we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. Let's jump in here, see what pick we get.
Where we at?
All right, so we're at 2 of 12, so we got some room in this lobby.
Yeah, we're gonna have plenty of time. All right. Let me see other topics. Do we do Debo to the Commanders yet?
Yes, we already talked about that. Do we want to talk about just some of the odds that have moved? Let me get FanDuel pulled up. Just for like Super Bowl odds, maybe we could talk some of these awards because there were some odds I was looking last night spread. I think there's some of these we should get on at these bigger numbers.
Right,
like for instance, Super Bowl odds on the NFC side, the Rams are 20-1 still. They improved their defense. Actually, they're 23-1. They improved their defensive line. They bring Devontae in. I think he's an improvement over Kupp. They lose to Marcus Robinson.
You know, I hate to say it, right? Because I want to be a Devontae hater since he dissed our team. That's a huge improvement, right?
Yeah, huge improvement. They could run Tutu Atwell and these guys out of the slot. Kyron Williams is still there. They kept Stafford. He's a top 8 quarterback. I think the Rams are live to win that NFC. I think they're the second best team behind Philly. Any pushback there? We might have lost spread.
So this Starlink isn't perfect.
Okay, you're good now. You're good now.
It's going to pop in and out. It happened a couple of times this last show. Right now, I just have it like on my deck, on my front deck. I got to get it mounted and I got to get it higher.
Yeah. Like, for instance, our guy Clyde's in the chat right now is asking Rams to win the NFC West. I like that. I believe they're right around.
I mean, it depends on the number.
I think they're right around plus 280. They're not the favorite.
Who's the favorite?
San Francisco's plus 125. The Rams are plus 230. I will gladly be on the Rams.
Oh, then yeah, the Rams is the way to go there. I think the Rams have a better chance than the Niners this year, don't you?
Me and Holden were talking about these ones too, these other 2 division winners. You'll like this one. What's your thoughts on Denver to win the NFC or the AFC West? Improved defense. They'll probably draft a wide receiver and a running back. They also brought in Evan Ingram. Kansas City hasn't really improved yet. The Chargers did, but Denver was pretty close to the Chargers, and you're getting 5-1 on that.
What's the Chargers number?
The Chargers is plus 330.
Kind of like the Chargers more. I mean, I almost think we're going to flip on Knicks. The reason I liked him last year is I thought he was pretty close to his ceiling.
He did play very well, and I mean,
right. How much better is he going to get?
I agree there. And the other thing too is they played such an easy schedule, so it's hard to really base what he did as can he do any better because he's going to play harder teams this year. Another one, you're definitely not going to like this one. Chicago to win the North.
No.
Way improved offensive line. They might even draft weapons on the offense. If Caleb takes a step forward, are we sure Green Bay is going to be as good as they were last year? No. Detroit, we have no idea what Detroit's going to look like without the coordinators. They could be a completely different team. So I don't mind taking a shot on Chicago at 5-1.
Yeah, you're so I'm with 100% with you on the Rams. In the West, I don't hate that Denver look. The idea, right, is that it's almost like a KC fade. Not that they're not going to be good, but I mean, do they pull Patriots? How many years in a row the Patriots win?
They won a lot in a row.
I think the Chiefs are at 8 or 9 years in a row right now because I mean they were winning it with Alex Smith. I don't know. I think the Chargers are the team there, and then in the North, All right, give me the odds for each team because obviously these numbers matter.
Detroit's plus 110.
No.
Green Bay's plus 260, and the Bears are 5-1. Minnesota's plus 460.
I would take Minnesota before I took Chicago. But I don't really like either of those. Now I see why Detroit's plus 110. Dude, it's cold in my house, Clyde. I just got the propane tank done, but I don't even have I got here 10 minutes late and I don't even have batteries in my thermostat to turn it on. So yeah. But yeah, Clyde, if you saw my new house, you'd think I'm a mountain man now, dude. I live in the snow. Geez. I mean, I guess you could talk me into Chicago. So
it's a big jump, but I mean, if that offensive line is improved, would it really surprise anyone if Caleb went from throwing 3,800 yards to 4,500 and closing in on 40 touchdowns?
No, I mean the real question, boy, I guess is a non-Ben Johnson believer. That's what you're really asking me, right? Is to believe in Ben Johnson, because in making that bet, you're saying not only does he add to Chicago, there's a huge subtraction from Detroit.
And it's him. Plus, they lost their defensive coordinator. Like,
that's what I was about to say, Tyler. And we saw this with San Francisco, right? When
we saw it with Philly after they made their first Super Bowl run and lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah, and when the Niners left, they left with Saleh, right? Then they had DeMeco Ryans. Then he leaves, and they're like, oh, "We'll do it again." And I can't remember the guy's name, but he was not good last year. They replaced him last year with someone else. He wasn't that good. Now they got Saleh coming back. Maybe that's why the Niners division is going to be so much better.
They're going to play a very easy schedule too because of where they finished in that division.
Yeah.
And we're not sure what that team's going to look like either. They've got rid of a lot of pieces.
So here's my thing with Minnesota, man. We'll probably disagree here. I think probably going McCarthy is the right long term, but that's a tough season to match, right? Throughout those last two games, Darnold was a top 5 guy, at least statistically.
It's a tough season to match. They're in a very weird, like, Super Bowl window, I would call it, with the way their roster's built. Their offense is good enough on the line, skill position wise. The question mark is the quarterback, and the defense is also good enough. That's why I think that question mark is out there. Like, do you think maybe Rodgers is just that little bit better than Darnold and can also keep you alive in these big games, that you give him a year in this offense before McCarthy?
I wouldn't do it personally.
I think they want to see what he looks like first, but it all depends on how long Rodgers is. I think if you get rid of
Darnold, you just got to go with McCarthy. I mean, that's why you did it.
I mean, I agree and I disagree because Darnold played good in every game that kind of meant nothing, spread. And he always had a lead. He was never playing. I mean,
he did pretty good against Green Bay.
He never
did really good against Chicago.
But he never had to actually play from behind. And then he plays in 2 big games and gets absolutely smoked at the end of the year.
Yeah, but okay, there. But we're taking too much of those 2 games. Those 2 games, Rodgers had like 5 or 6 of those that were that bad.
Yeah. But he was also on the Jets. Put him in Kevin O'Connell's offense with these weapons.
Is he even going to listen to Kevin O'Connell? I mean, that's one of the reasons LaFleur wanted to move on. He wasn't running the plays. He kept checking out everything and just doing his stuff. That's why he wanted Hackett in New York, because Hackett just lets him do whatever he wants.
I don't think it's going to happen because of that, but we shall see. Here, I shall refresh this, see if we've got any more.
I hate to say it, but the only place he makes sense is with you guys.
9 of 12. There we go. I was wondering, that number was not moving at all. So we're up to 9. We only need 3 more. But while we wait for those 3, the MVP odds, Lamar's the favorite at 450. Josh Allen's 550. Burrow 6-1, Mahomes 8-1, Jaden Daniels 9-1. And then some of the longer shots that I think would be worth a shot. Jalen Hurts at 17-1, Caleb Williams at 35-1, and Baker Mayfield at 40-1. What are your thoughts on those?
I'm not really good at MVP. It's just weird, right? Because, like, statistically, Lamar had the best year last year, right? He was QB1 in fantasy.
Yeah, that's why I think the interesting one here is, like, my favorite one would be Jalen Hurts. Yeah, he's going to lose some touchdowns to Saquon, but he's probably the quarterback on the number 1 seed in the NFC. If he puts up a little better passing numbers, he could easily jump into that top group that you see up there with Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow. And you're getting 17-1 on him. So I like the Jalen Hurts number. Saquon just got his offensive player.
You know what? You know what? Now that we're talking, okay, so first of all, I didn't prep for this, right? All this other stuff, right? I've been thinking about all week. Now that you say it, if Josh Allen just kind of got the Lifetime Achievement Award, because I think we can agree that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
You just look at this season, there's no way he beats Lamar out. I think it was voter fatigue because Lamar's won twice before, right?
Yep.
And we talked about this. Well, maybe it was on the Wagering World, but I said I also think that some of these older writers feel like these awards are the record of this time period, right? And I just don't think they wanted the story of the NFL of 2020 to 2030 to be written without Josh Allen.
No, I totally agree with you.
And so I can understand. You're right. Let's say they're 15-2. He doesn't have the best stats. Maybe, but it's really close. So like this year, are we going to be able to write this story of this decade of football without Jalen Hurts?
No, I think he's going to be up there towards the end. And let me just pull up his stats from this past year. So he went for, it's showing current season. He threw for, let me just make sure these are right because it seems really low. So in 2024, in 15 games, he only threw for 2,900 yards, and he had 18 touchdowns. But then he rushed in 14 touchdowns.
Right.
If he bounces back to his 2023 passing season of 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns, and knocks that interception number down from 15, plus his rushing, I'm all over that 17-1.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't think about it, but now that you mention it, I mean, I understand your point. So, I'm trying to think what other fantasy real. Does Stephon Diggs have a home yet, Tyler?
He does not have a home yet.
Huh.
It's an interesting little market there to get on some of these longer shots. He should be grouped up with those top quarterbacks. I mean, I don't get why he's 17-1, and the likes of Mahomes is 8-1, Jaden Daniels is 9-1, Burrow's 6-1. At that,
other than Mahomes, though, all those players are usually always statistically better. And I'm not talking about fantasy, but I'm just saying
we're not sure if Jaden Daniels is going to be that good again. Like, we watched CJ Stroud be quarterback number 2 years ago, and he really regressed.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? We've talked about.
I think he's going to be good, but we have to wait and see with that one. We know Jalen Hurts is good. 17-1. That's my pick for MVP as of right now.
Yeah, Meg. Yeah. Well, first of all, we've talked about Godwin before. We don't know if he's going to be back. I don't know. I just can't see him giving it to Baker right now. Like, going back to my original thing, we can't tell the story without Josh Allen. We can't tell the story without Jalen Hurts. Baker's kind of a footnote in this deal, right?
Are we sure Tampa get a 1 or 2 seed in the NFC? Maybe, but
yeah, I just don't think
I'm not very confident in that.
Yeah. So.
And then we'll jump into offensive player of the year while we still wait for this lobby to fill up. Here, I'll refresh it one more time, see if anybody else has joined.
You're always better at these than I am.
So we're at 10. We need 2 more. Yeah, offensive player of the year. Of course, Saquon's favorite, 7-1. Jamar Chase, 9-1. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12. Derrick Henry, 14. Justin Jefferson, 14. Puka, 16. CeeDee Lamb, 18. Bijan, 20. A couple long shots that I think could be interesting. Drake London, 40-1. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 30-1. And probably those 2 for me. But my favorite of this list, when you look at Derrick Henry's past season compared to Saquon's, he wasn't that much worse. So I would gladly take that 14-1 on Derrick Henry, who I think is just going to put up very close to the same numbers again in this Baltimore offense, if not better. They returned most of their offensive line. So 14-1 on Derrick Henry would be my favorite in that offensive player of the year market. Looks like our guy's spread stepped away for a minute, so we shall wait for him to return. Let's see, are we up to 11 yet? Maybe even 12? Get this draft rolling. Still 10. Let's wait and see. We'll talk about some defensive player of the year odds while we wait. Myles Garrett still a favorite for this market, 7-1. Michael Parsons, 750. Aiden Hutchinson, 9-1. TJ Watt, 9-1. Crosby, 10. Will Anderson, 12. Nick Bosa, 18. And a couple long shots that I personally like. Jared Verse, 20-1. Jalen Carter, 35-1. Nick Bonito, 50-1. The Jared Verse number, I think, is completely wrong. He should be moved up. He's getting improved defensive line help with the additions they made. Their defensive line was already very good. He's going to rack up sacks. 20-1 on him seems like a solid number. Jalen Carter on Philly, if their defense just plays how it did last year, they're probably going to try and reward one of these guys. I would not be surprised if he is the guy because he will have the stats at the end of the season. And then the other long shot, Nick Bonito. Denver might have the best defense in the entire league. So I think we could see them put up another really good season. And he was very close to winning it, if not Surtain, towards the end of the year. So don't hate those numbers on those guys. Oh, looks like our draft filled up. And we are pick 9. We still got to wait 2 minutes. Let's see. Do we notice any of these names in this?
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, so we're in?
Yeah, we are in. We are pick 9.
Again?
I mean, it's fine by me.
Derrick Henry again?
It's not Derrick Henry at 9. We'll get him on the back end.
I'm just saying. That's who we always end up watching.
Actually, no. On DK, he is at number 9. We might have to take him with our pick.
He's moved
on
up.
On underdog, he's still 14, 15 range.
See, isn't that crazy? And we've talked about that before. I personally think underdog should value running backs more, but since DraftKings is the more casual style, like with the guys coming from the home leagues and they're, just playing the DK contests on Sundays, right? The typical $50,000.
Our guy Omega Kings in the 1 spot.
Yeah. What's up, buddy? We'll see how we're doing on this one. But yeah, it's just surprising to me that on DraftKings, the running backs are valued higher, even though I think the format lends itself better to wide receivers with the 4-point PPR.
I think it should be more towards the running backs. I'm very surprised that what do we only see here in the top? Of course, you have the top 3 here at 2, 3, 4. And then after that, Henry at 9, McCaffrey at 12, Genty at 16, A-Chain at 17. Then you don't get another one until 22 at JT. If Feels like Jonathan Taylor should be moved up in my eyes on this board.
Yeah. Do you think Taylor's injuries history is why he's not so popular?
I think it's that. I think it's his quarterback situation. They did lose an offensive line piece.
I mean, does quarterback really matter for that?
I think it does. I mean, if his quarterback is just absolutely terrible, you could just stack the box against him.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wait, did that happen since the last time we've talked?
What?
I don't think we've talked about that. Daniel Jones is going to win that job.
Oh yeah, we've talked
Where's
about
JC
this.
Zargo when we need him?
We've talked about this because we've drafted him a couple times in our drafts.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I do think he's going to win that job.
Yeah, all right, let me go full screen here.
What do we think about CD? He seems to fall in these drafts sometimes.
I don't know why. I mean, he
Maybe
was
just think
top
Dallas
wide receiver overall
bad.
last year in the preseason rankings, right? Dak gets hurt. They had a disaster of a year. He's a prime bounce back candidate to me. All right,
Yeah,
so who are we looking at here?
Probably
You know,
Derrick
I
Henry.
think of the top 4 people, we've drafted all of them.
I'm fine to just build the portfolio right around Derrick Henry.
We keep it going.
If he doesn't, if we don't get one of these top 2 receivers ahead of him, I'm down to take Derrick Henry.
Josh Allen's moving up.
McCaffrey just went 7.
I mean, I love Brock Bowers, but at 15.
All right, what are we thinking? Derrick Henry, Puka? I would rather have Derrick Henry.
Let's do it.
And then hopefully we can get one of these receivers.
Bowers and Genty are 2 players that I'm absolutely going to root for this year, but I think they're way too high in these drafts.
Yeah.
And you know what, Meg, we haven't decided what we're going to bet, but I heard Andrew and Justin thinking that Genty's going to the Raiders too, and I'm just like, I don't get this at all. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
I'll get the draft board up after we pick our next pick, just because how quick these ones go.
Felix is overweight on Genty. Felix, I gotta watch one of your streams, then, man. Why? I don't see him getting the workload.
The more I look back at he's very good with his balance, and I think he's a good running back. But he had so much volume last year to get to those numbers.
Yeah, and this isn't what. Where was it? Well, who was he playing? Mountain West.
Yeah,
Boise State in the Mountain West. I mean, it's not like he did this against the SEC. He's not that big. I can't imagine him getting a Kyron Williams.
All right, we're up
Derrick
in 2 spread. What are we thinking?
All right, let's go back.
I think Josh Allen's not going to be there for us.
Well,
I'd be down for some. I'd be down for some AJ Brown or Drake London. Which way do you want to go there?
Last time. Let's do AJ.
Okay. I like that.
Now we got a little while to chat before we do one. Yeah. We have all these Derrick Henry combos. All right. The Meg disagrees. Meg thinks that Genty's going to be a volume bell cow. Yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm so weird how I do that with certain players and not with others.
But like, what happens?
His size worries me.
What happens if Genty ends up in Chicago and it's him and Swift? I don't think he's going to be a volume bell cow with Swift there also.
I don't think he ends up in Chicago. They can't make the same mistakes.
What if
they got to take a lineman in the first round, don't you think?
I mean, they traded for 2 of them and signed one already.
Yeah, I think that's Ben Johnson saying you guys screwed up.
Yeah, but that might be good enough spread. Once you fix a couple holes, normally the better players like Joe Tooney and these guys.
No, I know. I mean, for all the crap I talked about Chicago on last year's betting shows, terribly run organization, don't know how to build. Like, and then I talk crap about Ben Johnson. Well, Ben Johnson seems to agree with me. You win through the offensive line and the defensive line. Yeah, that's the first thing he's addressed right off the bat. He said, Keenan Allen, leave if you want. I don't care. I need a block for my guy.
I could see Denver getting Genty, maybe even trading up to get him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers just try and replace
If
Najee.
If he went there, then he's being drafted at the right spot. If Genty goes to Denver,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers pick him if he's there.
Yeah, okay. I guess you're right. All these possible landing spots would be great. I mean, don't you think Genty and Jalen Warren would be a great combination?
I mean,
even at 60-40, even at 60-40, 60 Genty, 40 Warren, he's going to pay off. I mean, A-Chain's not a bell cow either, and he goes in this round.
Yeah, but A-Chain, that first year of him probably will never get replicated just because of the way
last year was pretty damn good too.
It was good, but he did a lot of more of a receiving spread. He had 200 carries and he didn't crack 1,000 yards. If you would have told
but if you had him in fantasy, he was getting over 20 points all the time because he was getting touchdowns and he was getting a shitload of catches. And
yes,
this is a
but I agree there, but it was more of the volume. Coming off of his first year, people thought if you gave that man 200 touches, he was probably going to run for 1,800 yards and have double-digit touchdowns on top of this receiving game he had. So, like, he had a good year. He stayed healthy. But I think a lot of people thought they were going to get more out of him if you told us we were getting 200 carries and he was going to be healthy the whole year.
I mean, look it up. He was still RB4 or 5.
Let's see. I mean, he was putting up numbers, 23, 29. He had an 8, a 5, a 10.
No, he's a total spike. He's a total best ball guy. Wow.
But then he had 32.
Don't look at
10,
all these great
20.
spikes, dude.
He's good, but
all right, let's figure out who we're going to draft.
I don't hold him in the same area you do.
I obviously hold him in higher regard than you do. All right, who are we going for?
You're getting our quarterback right here if he doesn't get taken in the next 2 picks.
You want Jalen?
Yeah, pair him with AJ.
All right.
We just talked him up
all
pre-draft.
He just left. I think Breece Hall is going too low. I like Breece Hall in this range more than most of the other players. All right, let's grab Jalen and see who comes back to us. How do you think Garrett Wilson does with Fields? Now, I know they played together, but how many times have we done that and it didn't matter?
Yeah.
Remember Sam Howell and was it De'Ami Brown? And
with our next pick spread, if we don't get one of these top running backs, like say if Breece doesn't fall, we could even overload this Philly stack and get Devontae here. We would have to reach up a little bit for him.
I'm fine with that.
I'm starting to talk myself into a little bit of Marvin Harrison here too.
I mean, how many wide receivers have we seen kind of come in? They had the physical talent and they struggle and then they just break out, right? Just because you're not Justin Jefferson your first year doesn't mean that you're not going to be an elite player. I think where he's drafted at is fine. However, he's by far the most boom or bust pick here. I think Devontae's safe. Devontae Adams is a safe pick.
DJ Moore, I think, is very safe.
Safe.
There goes Breece Hall. So we're going to change our plans here.
All
right, we're up.
Are we going to just drop down a little bit and grab Devontae?
Do you want to go Devontae Smith or do you want to go Devontae Adams?
I do. I want Devontae Smith for our build.
Yeah,
for our build. If we didn't have Jalen Hurts, I would want Devontae Adams.
And here's
what I'm thinking of. AJ Brown missed a couple games last year. We're going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yes, and if this team is 15-2, like we think it's possible, I mean, we could be carrying the guy who's going to win the MVP plus all his weapons, and then on the other side in the AFC have Derrick Henry. So, like, I love that start to that draft. Also, if you just
and Saquon, they might dial back his volume this year.
Might dial back his volume. What if he twists an ankle and he's out for a little bit? Like, we've seen him get hurt multiple times when he played for the Giants.
Yeah. I still don't. I think this Genty to the Raiders is a huge smokescreen.
Let's see what our guy Omega Kings does here.
Most drafts don't, and Cowboys are at 12, right, Meg? So most mock drafts don't have go. I'd be really shocked to see him go that high. And I think it's going to be good for him because if he goes between 15 and 30, which is what I expect, he's going to go to a dope ass landing spot.
Yeah,
the last thing he wants is to go to Carolina and be on an average team, right? Imagine drops in the 20s and goes to Pittsburgh or,
that's the
real
biggest
good
worry is
team.
Pittsburgh takes him in the first round because he's just going to fall right back into Najee Harris's role of getting hit behind the offensive line.
He's got so much more ability.
It doesn't matter when they can't block for you.
Well, I mean, Genty, the closest highlights I've seen to him is Barry Sanders, right? And he can definitely make things happen behind the line. Well, we're going to see where Genty goes. I guess.
Nope, we're already up in 4 picks.
Yeah, let's get back.
Let's get back over.
I have a feeling, Tyler, we're going to argue about Genty, or I'm going to make the same argument about Genty on every single show up until the draft. So I don't know. Yeah, I kind of guess disagree with the consensus there. All right, where are we looking here? I think we can go anywhere. We can do running back or wide receiver.
I'm down to go running back here. I'm down to go Kenny Walker if he's here.
I'm down for Kenny Walker too with the new OC. I'm not in on David Montgomery this year. He's going way too high. What do you think of Debo at pick 61?
He still scores a lot of touchdowns. Did you see McMillan ran?
And you got to think they got to be excited to get him involved after they traded for him and paid him all that money, right?
Kenny Walker went a pick before us.
Excuse my language.
You want to go McMillan?
I want to go McMillan.
Or do you want to go Rome and then step up?
I don't want Rome. I would rather have. I'd rank them McMillan, Waddle, Olave.
We're going McMillan. I have a feeling he's going to be a Raider and he's going to be one of Gino's favorite targets.
I have a feeling that just the guy's so good wherever he goes, he's going to. And
I also agree there. If he goes to the Raiders, if he goes to Carolina, I think he's
he just feels like, I don't want to say can't miss, but I'd say he's got a high probability of being successful. All right, and we pick again in 5, and then we'll go back to the big board. Where are we going here now? We're kind of filling out.
Just looking at the running backs that are left after this, I think we should probably get one of these guys towards the top of this list in the running back spot.
Or who's the other one? Is Henderson the other one?
Henderson's still here. Aaron Jones is still here. Judkins.
I want Henderson or Judkins. Those are the 2 Ohio State guys, right?
Yep.
I want Henderson first, Judkins second, but you like Judkins more than
I like Henderson, Judkins a lot more.
But we took Judkins last time, so
we'll take Henderson, I guess. I'll let you win this one.
If he's there. Dude, his numbers were ridiculous. Henderson, his measurables. Yeah.
If we knew Olave wasn't going to get concussed every other week, I would not hate that pick right here.
I still think it's a great pick.
We'll go Henderson. We'll get us a running back here.
If you said draft a wide receiver right now, I like Olave first, Juwan Jennings second, then probably Debo.
Pickens third.
You like Pickens or Debo more?
I like Pickens more.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's go back and check on the chat. Yeah, we're just going to have the same conversation every show, Meg. But thank you for checking us out, guys. Remember, this is the Fanspeak Network. That's Meg typing in the Fanspeak Network in the chat. So I'm sure you've watched her stuff this week. Her and Steve are doing a great job with their sibling showdowns. Trying to match that advance rate. That's going to be tough. So let's see if they can go right. The Chiefs couldn't do it, right? It's tough to do it year after year, Meg. But we're rooting for you guys. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're getting real close to 500 subscribers. When we get there, there's going to be giveaways, a little live stream to celebrate. So if you're not subscribed, please do it. Please do it. You can even mute the notification. We'd love for you to get notified, though, every time we go live. Najee, I think, is just a stud this year. I think he's this year Saquon, this year's Henry, this year's Josh Jacobs. Quality back, going to a better situation. Meg wants to know where does Travis Hunter go on DK? Do we want to try and figure that out real quick, Tyler? Go to the wide receiver tab.
ADP 98.3.
Yeah, they're higher on him than we are. But if you guys want, I mean, I just plugged the shows. I mean, they have a full show on Travis Hunter if you want to know why they believe in him. And, it's tough for me to counter some of the points. Felix likes Ibuka. Tyler, it says around the time we start looking for my tight end, though, right?
Yeah, he
we got a little while longer.
He goes farther back on this one. He goes 106.
Okay. So we're definitely not taking him this one. I don't like Kupp in this range. We just talked about how we think that it's not a great fit there, and we know they're going to run more, which is one of the reasons we like Kenneth Walker, right? Because they got Kubiak over there. And I think Kubiak got a raw deal. He had injuries and Derek Carr.
I think we should go Pickens.
Like, come on, even Kyle Shanahan's not making that one work, right?
Either Pickens or Pershaw.
Who do you like more?
Ricky's just got a better offensive setup, I'd say.
I just think Pickens is just so much better.
Yeah, but we just don't know who the quarterback's going to be. It could end up being Mason Rudolph. There goes Ricky off the board. So
there's no way it's Mason Rudolph.
Don't be surprised. I mean, what if Aaron Rodgers just doesn't come to Pittsburgh and Russ ends up in Cleveland or the Giants? Who else is it going to be?
Okay, so I don't think Russ is coming back.
Yeah, so who else is it going to be? It's almost like they went out and got a guy. Let's just say it's
Aaron Rodgers. Would you move Pickens up if I just get, hey, underdog, hit me up right now? They just said Rodgers is going to the Pittsburgh, right? Signed, sealed, delivered. We got to move Pickens up, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. Dude, let's take him.
Yeah. Plus, we got a little bit of ADP value there, right?
Yeah, we got a nice ADP there. He was supposed to go, I believe, like 71. We got him at 80.
So now my question is, do we reach on Tyler Warren or no? I want to.
Not yet.
Okay. Then if we're not going to reach, we're going to miss him.
We pick 88, and then we come back 105.
I don't think he's going to be there 105, but that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This is an ADP game. Who do you like now since my guy's out, we're not taking him?
Looking around this board, Warren's gone. I didn't want anything to do with him.
I was going to say the only reason is because we took Pickens and we get into a mini Pittsburgh stack and maybe grab. Do you want to do a Buka like Felix suggested?
We could do that, or we can get a small Baltimore stack to go with Henry and take Andrews and get one tight end.
I don't want Andrews.
Okay, we'll stay away from him. We could do.
I think Andrews is a better player than he is a fantasy producer right now.
Yeah, we could do Caleb Johnson.
I want a rookie. I say we go Caleb, Egbuka, or Golden. And if you really want Travis, I wouldn't care.
Let's get another running back. We only have two. Let's take Caleb Johnson.
Okay. We want with Caleb Johnson?
Yep.
All right. Let's just hope. We're fingers crossed that Tyler Warren gets back to us. But we know Omega King, he's not going to let it. Does he draft a tight end yet?
He drafted Trey McBride round 2.
Oh, maybe he will let us have him. I love this Derrick Henry and then just fill it in with rookies and just hope one of them pops.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like
just pray one of them falls into the Denver bell cow role.
Yeah, it's just the prototypical hero RB build, right? Like we know that Derrick Henry is going to be our starter.
I mean, McMillan, I think, is going to be great. I would have much rather have had this little swap right here if we could have got Kenny Walker instead of McMillan.
I would have too. Yeah. I mean, but I just think that, and we were kind of wrong about it, right? But I guess it kind of worked out with JSN benefiting from the Ryan Grubb as the OC being pass happy. I think Kenneth Walker really is going to benefit from the run happy OC he's getting now. Kubiak, they're going to switch from about 48% running to about 54%, which doesn't sound like much, but it actually is when you look at it over the course of a season. So I think Walker and Najee, it's already baked in, right? but he's just there's the two guys that I think have the skills and now are in way better situations,
Yeah, like it would not surprise me if Najee ran for 1,500 yards this year.
No, I mean, if I'm Harbaugh, I'm running him into the ground. I just run him in the ground.
They cut Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins is a free agent, so the only guy there is Vidal behind him.
And even if J.K. Dobbins comes back, how many games is he going to play?
Exactly.
Are you talking about Travis Hunter, Meg, here when you're saying he's moving up on underdog? All right. Let's see. You took Kyler.
That makes sense since he had McBride. He gets Kyler, fill in the stack.
Yeah. I think Josh Downs is a sneaky good pick in that range because we don't know what's up with Pittman's health, right?
No.
He could silently be like the number one.
That's the thing about his draft position. Like let's see exactly where he goes on these.
And Daniel Jones fed the F out of Neighbors last year.
He goes around 109. If his back doesn't give out, I mean, he's gonna be a 1,000-yard receiver.
I almost feel like he's Rashee Rice though, where you have him in the first 4 weeks, you're just like, look at the big brain, right? And then he gets hurt.
I mean, but Rashee Rice's knee got bent backwards by his own quarterback, so like we can't really blame him for that.
I was just saying the situation where the first 4 weeks you feel like the big brain, and then he's out, and then it's like, now what? Okay. So you know where I want to go if he's on the board. If not, who are we looking at?
I don't hate looking at McMillan. I think he could take a step up in Tampa Bay's offense.
Yeah, because I don't know if Godwin's coming back, man. I mean, obviously he's coming back, but I don't know if he's coming back to 100 catches a year.
I don't hate the Pittman idea. I know Dallas Goedert's in trade talks, but if he doesn't move, that just adds to our Philly stack.
Why would they trade him?
I think it's more of a money situation.
He's not under contract. I would think they would just run it out and let him walk and get because aren't they one of the reasons they let all those guys go is they're going to get a crap load of compensatory picks, right?
Yeah.
For letting all those.
The other thing too is if we drafted Goddard, the only touchdowns we're going to miss out on Philly's offense is going to be Saquon's.
You're right. Well, I don't care. I want Warren more, dude, because Warren's like Brock Bowers. Warren's going to be, when we're doing these shows next year at this time, Warren's going to be going to like pick 30. So I want Warren for sure, and I will let you talk me into Goddard on the way back.
That's fine. We'll take Warren
if he's still
first
on the board. Who's the opportunity cost? We already talked about Stephon Diggs doesn't have one. I think ATN is criminally undervalued, but whatever. We both like Loveland. We both like the other guy, Fannin. So we don't need to take Goddard. Meg's favorite darling, Cam Scatterboo. I wouldn't be opposed to taking him here. I was listening to Andrew and Justin. Dude, good. Only good thing about this move, Tyler, I got plenty of time to get all the content in the car, right? But they were making some good points about Scatterboo and, his ability to be a workhorse there wherever he gets drafted seems fairly high. I mean, unlike Genty, I'm not really worried about him holding up.
Yeah, I could agree there. The only running back I like better than him would probably be Pacheco, but my worry is with Kareem Hunt still there, we can just draft Kareem Hunt and get the touchdowns out of him.
Do you see one of the guys that does content? I can't remember his name. He did Kareem Hunt's metrics, for just they were not good. For ability to break tackles.
All right, do we want to go Scatterbo or do we want to go Michael Pittman?
Scatterbo.
Or do we Dallas Goedert's still there?
Scatterbo or Goddard. Let's go Scatterbo, dude. Let's have some fun, dude. We're trying to win the whole thing, right? We know what Pittman. Well, you're right. I guess Pittman could be. What was he going
Pittman
at?
Could be a wide receiver one, and you're drafting him at 112.
Yeah. I also like Charbonnet. I know we didn't take him, but I think that's a good pick. for the same reasons I mentioned about Walker. I don't think Walker plays 16 games.
If
you're gonna get 4 bomb-ass weeks out of Charbonnet at least.
Yeah. I also wouldn't hate the way Omega King is building his team on the end. If Pittman's there, adding Pittman, Downs, and then going for Daniel Jones late would not be a bad stack to build late.
Yeah, and it's not like he's going to get.
You're building it in round 9, 10, and then probably 20.
Yeah, maybe not 20, but
Daniel Jones goes round 20. He's always the last round.
He might move up now, though.
Once he wins the job permanently, he'll move up. But
I think he'll move up. I think people have to be excited about him with what's his name, Steichen. Christian Kirk. I know we talked about this last week, but remind me and for people who didn't see last week's show, what do you think of this fit? Does it work better now because Nico gets all the attention?
I think it could work.
He just done?
But I don't think he's done exactly. I mean, he was on his way out of Jacksonville before he broke his collarbone last year. I just think it was bad timing. Why do you say that? What was that?
Why do you say he was on his way out?
The trade was in place. Like supposedly he was getting traded to Pittsburgh. Like the trade was done and he got hurt the next day and broke his collarbone. He was done for the rest of the year.
Oh.
So they at that point they're not going to trade for him.
Yeah, I mean obviously I don't think you even can. Okay. So he went with Kraft.
I kind of like that pick. I mean, he's already got Jaden Reed. He's already got Jaden Reed, and I'm not even sure is
Jordan Love's off the board.
Yeah, Jordan Love should be gone by now. I just didn't see his name come off the board.
There
he is, round 9.
Yeah, round 9. I think the 2 biggest values are Stroud and Love for quarterback. They're way too low.
Caleb's way too low. Caleb has the running ability also. Also, Tua in round 11.
Interceptions don't really hurt you that much in our fantasy league.
Tua in round 11 is not bad. He has no running ability, but I mean he could put up yards if he gets.
I had so many Tua Trevor teams last year.
If he stays healthy, which is just a big question with him.
And if that line gets back to form, and does Tyreek Hill demand his way out? It's kind of funny how no one is talking about that anymore, right?
It's kind of just died off, though. You haven't heard much from that.
Yeah.
This is easy if he's there.
Who? Goddard?
Yeah.
Okay, great. He might be.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there he goes.
This is so easy. This is so easy.
Kincaid?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. We should look at a backup quarterback at some point too.
I got an idea.
Kincaid, then what? I want either Penix or Drake May. Like, let's go.
I was thinking Geno because I think Geno's going to get McMillan, and I think we'll have that built-in stack.
Well, if we want Geno, I'd say we wait around.
Yeah, we're not taking him yet.
Okay. The only ones I wanted were Drake May and Penix. As a Raiders fan, this hurts to say, but don't you think Drake May gets a huge boost with Josh McDaniels going there?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they took Travis Hunter?
I mean, I don't hate taking one of these guys up here.
Who?
It'd be Penix at this point because Drake May's off the board.
I think Penix is a great pick, bro.
Or we go Rico Dowdle.
I'm down with either of those. Dowdle's safe. I mean, gosh. Kind of like Dowdle, don't you?
Let's go Dowdle.
Yeah. Then someone can do a Penix pit stack.
Dowdle could also benefit because Chuba Hubbard's good, but he's also had some health problems. If he goes down, that's Dowdle's back.
Chuba Hubbard is hurt, isn't he?
Not at the moment, but he did get hurt.
Oh, yeah, he is. I don't think he's going to play till like week 10.
No, that's Jonathan Brooks who tore his ACL to end last year.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
He's probably not playing this year. That's another pick I don't hate.
Yeah, okay, I got those two confused. My bad.
I don't hate taking Rashad White this late in the draft either, because if Bucky Irving regresses or gets injured, guess who's getting all that work?
Yeah, that's so crazy how Rashad White, he was just so consistent year after year. And then he just loses the job.
He fumbled, and they don't like fumbles. And all of a sudden, the guy behind him went in and sparked the offense.
He never had a fumbling problem before, right? I mean, it was like
no, it was just it was like a couple bad ones.
Super hard to prognosticate.
We had the very bad one in that Dallas game that lost them the game.
Yeah, I know, but my point is, when I was drafting Bucky Irvin, I was thinking, oh, this would be great if White gets hurt. I did not expect him to lose the job.
Yeah.
I mean, so I had White and Connor mixed up.
And look at how
Connor might lose his job.
White goes 140 and Bucky Irving goes 23.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bucky Irving should be backed up a little bit, and I think Rashad White should be moved up.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you there. I know a lot of people like Irving. When I did the show with Simon, I think we drafted Bucky Irving, and I would have picked some other people on that spot.
Like Etienne,
to be fair, he showed out
Etienne
when it mattered last
year
year.
Are also in a split, and they go 106 and 150. Like,
bro, I think everyone's just got burned on Tank Bigsby so many times.
You want to go ahead and get Gino right here?
And we talked about Liam Cohen, right? Like, are we sure he's going to turn things around there?
I think he's going to be good.
No, I don't.
What are we thinking here? I think we should get our backup QB. Want to go Gino?
Sure. Raiders. I got to switch my Raiders thing, man. I got the normal NFL one on. Amari Cooper's a free agent still, or did he sign?
No, I believe he's still a free agent. Yeah, no news on him.
He's a sneaky good player to be available right now. I guess no one just wants to pay him. Everyone's going to wait for the second wave and try and get him cheap.
Yeah, that's what I believe. We need another wide receiver here. I'm down for Jaden Higgins or taking the shot on Wicks's hands working again this year.
If we take a veteran, I want Wan'Dale Robinson.
My thing about Wicks is he's still separated with the best of them last year.
Yeah, but his hands were terrible.
If he can catch the ball this year, though, and he's separating like that spread, those stats are going to spike.
If we were to take anyone else, scroll down is my guy. I would take Restrepo again over Dontavian Wicks.
I think we can get Restrepo another round. Like, we don't have to take him at this turn.
All right.
I don't want Hopkins. I don't want Tillman.
Where did Hopkins end up?
Hopkins is in Baltimore. Palmer in Buffalo.
Don't like it. I don't like it. Oh, we didn't take Allen here. No, I'm fine staying away from that one.
Yeah, I think we should go Jaden Higgins.
All right. No relation to T, right?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
I think I would have heard that by now. What about this kid for Carolina? Why is he above Higgins?
Coker?
Yeah.
He finished the year pretty strong. 7 targets, 2, 5.
Oh, I see. 24 against
6,
Dallas,
8,
13 against Atlanta.
Yeah, he had some games.
The only reason I wouldn't do that is we've talked about it before. You got to think they add.
They're going to add.
If it's not the first round, right? They get one of these. You can't click on the wide. If you just click on wide receivers right now, they'll probably get some of these later ones like Restrepo,
Yoshi Bosch, Al Manor.
Yeah, yeah. I think they draft someone.
What do you think about that Jordan Mason move? That was one move we didn't talk about. He is now in Minnesota.
I don't think it matters. I think it helps their team in real life. Don't you think him and Jones are going to get a pure 50-50 split?
I think it might be more Jones like 60-40, but we've seen Jones have hamstring problems. He might
I feel like it's just like drafting AJ Dillon when Jones was on the Packers. Like you'll get some touchdowns and you'll have some spikes. I mean, I guess at that point, that's all we're hoping for is for them to spike in the lineup.
Yeah.
But I just think some of these other guys have a chance, to really be the number one. Where did Chubb end up?
Chubb's still a free agent, I believe.
I'd like to see him on Vegas.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that ends up in Chicago, him and Swift. That wouldn't be a bad backfield.
He would be good in Chicago. There's Dylan Sampson. Meg and Steve are high on him, which doesn't surprise us that our guy from the Fanspeak chat took him.
Oh, did he just go? Did he end up going?
He took Dylan Sampson.
Okay, yeah, he took Dylan Sampson at the turn. Him and Algier. I could see Sampson having a couple spike weeks, catch maybe a long touchdown.
I mean, it's good that we usually do the gambling show because with so much of this, aren't we just gambling?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. That where they land. If he lands in Dallas or Pittsburgh or something, right? I mean, he could end up being. Oh, you know who we didn't talk about, Tyler? Since we have Gino. What about Mostert or Mostert, however you want to say it?
I don't hate that pickup, but it's just how many weeks are you going to get out of him? That's the biggest thing. He's another guy that's very injury prone.
Yeah. I actually thought it was a pretty good pickup, even if we only get 4 or 5 weeks out of him. All right. So we got, what are we
Makes you wonder what we should do with a guy like Jalen Wright, who's probably going to have an improved role in Miami.
I like Jalen Wright a lot. If he's on the board, I say we take him.
I'm down with that. Hopefully we can get Wando at the turn.
Okay.
Let's go Jalen Wright.
Yeah, I mean, with Mostert gone, right? Wright's the clear number 2, and A-Chain's not. We talk about durability with some of these other guys. It has to be an issue with A-Chain. Shador, I know we have this conversation every week, but where do you think he ends up this week?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's behind Gino. If they don't, would it really
I think it's New York or Las Vegas.
I think it's one of those two, and if it's not those two, I would not be surprised if he drops all the way to Pittsburgh.
The only way, I don't think he gets past us. Do you think there's any way that Tennessee does not take Cam Ward? I mean, obviously there's a way, but
no, I think they're taking Cam Ward. But I would not be surprised. Right? Would it surprise us if they do Cam Ward at 1 and all of a sudden they're trading back up to 2 like Houston did to try and get Abdul Carter?
What would they do, like next year's first, like Houston did?
Yeah, probably something like that. Next year's first, maybe a second. We're talking about Cleveland here.
If you offer that to Cleveland, they have to take it.
Yeah.
A second and next year's first?
We're back on the board. It looks like Wandale's gone. I say we go Wicks.
Fine.
We needed another receiver. Tank Dell's probably not playing all year.
I had so much John Tavian Wicks last year. I was getting him at like the 170s, and then he kept moving up the board, right? And I'm like, hey.
Well, we just got him at 184. So
ADP/CLV, whatever, right? And just, it didn't work out for me. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Felix loves right, and you think he's a Giant. Are you talking about Shador Sanders, Felix?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think he's going to. I think
I wouldn't be surprised if he's starting for the Giants week 1.
Who do you think Cleveland takes it to?
I think they might take Travis Hunter.
That would be stupid.
I think gives him a legit lockdown corner opposite of Denzel Ward. Probably.
I would put him with I would put Abdul Carter.
That also wouldn't be a bad one, just putting Carter across from Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Here's a question, Spread. Raiders fan. Would you rather have T-Mac and Judkins or Genty and Jaden Higgins in real life? I would
T-Mac and Judkins.
Yeah, T-Mac and Judkins by a mile.
Not even close. To me, that's not even close. I don't think there's that much. And maybe that's why I don't see Genty going so high. I don't think there's that much difference between Judkins and Genty.
Yeah, I think if Judkins had the volume Genty had, that we talk about Judkins the same way.
And I will be shocked. And I would say I'd do something stupid on air, but I'm not going to do it. But, I'll do something stupid here if Jaden Higgins outscores McMillan and they play a similar amount of games, right? Obviously, McMillan only plays 3 games, then yeah. But I will be way surprised if McMillan isn't wide receiver 1 if he plays wide receiver 1 of the rookie class if he plays more than 13 games.
I think the only wide receiver that could beat him for wide receiver 1 is Golden. I don't think the other guys are going to be in the roles. I think Burton's really good, but I just don't think he's going to be in the role to beat these guys.
I mean, almost like the gambling we were talking about. Would I comp T-Mac with London or Mike Evans? Tyler, you watch more of him than me. Why don't you field this one?
I think he's a slightly worse route runner than Drake London. Because Drake London can run very good routes.
It's so funny that he puts this in the comment. Mike Evans was Drake London's comp when we were doing the show when he was coming out. So that's what they were saying. Could be the next Mike Evans, right? So yeah, you seem like you got it here. Captain Jay, are you excited about Geno Smith, man? At first I wasn't. The more I listen to smart people, including Meg and Steve on Sibling Showdown here on the Fanspeak Network, they seem to really think that Geno Smith is going to do pretty well in Las Vegas. And
you want to take our guy Restrepo in too?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't believe he's still on the board. What about Ollie Gordon?
I'd rather throw up.
Why don't you like him? We had this conversation last week. You have to remind me. I had a lot going on.
Just the pass blocking worries the hell out of me.
Oh, yeah, that was it. And then we brought up Alfred Blue. It's all coming back.
I'd much rather draft Elijah Mitchell. He's playing for the Chiefs now. And Ollie Gordon just went off the board anyway, so we could stay away from him.
Thank God. If he's still on the board, I want Braylon Allen with the next pick, bro.
Actually, if
way too low.
There goes Braylon Allen.
It's way too low. I just saw that. How is he so low, dude?
There goes Mostert. We're back to Elijah Mitchell.
No, let's find someone else.
We can go Fannin. Get our third tight end.
Yes, Fannin.
Talk about a rookie-built team. I mean, Restrepo.
Hey, we're having some fun with this, bro. But you know what? I think all our veterans are solid.
McMillan, Travion Henderson.
But we have a bunch of high-floor veterans, right? AJ and Devontae, high floor. Jalen Hurts, high floor. Derrick Henry, high floor, right? So I think we did it right as far as, yeah, we're taking some gambles here. But if a couple of them pay off, we're not going to regret. We didn't take the risks with the veterans. We talked about some risky veterans earlier, right? Go back to the big board. I'll show you some veterans I think that are really boom. Pittman was one of them. Obviously,
let me click this button real quick on Fan, and then we'll go back to the big board.
All right. Yeah, let's go back to the big board, and let's talk about some. Maybe they have higher ceilings, right? But lower floors than the guys we got. Like Jameson Williams, right? His floor is way lower.
That dude also is like a one bad move away from being suspended like 8 games. Like he is always into some trouble.
Yeah. I mean, not saying his ceiling isn't higher. His ceiling might be higher than Devontae Smith if St. Brown misses some time. Zay Flowers, same deal. Probably a higher ceiling than some of the guys that we got.
Well, it's just because Zay Flowers is the wide receiver. Like Zay Flowers to Devontae. Zay Flowers is a wide receiver 1 to where Devontae's a 2. But I think Devontae
has a higher ceiling, but
I think Devontae's a better
player,
wide receiver 2 than James.
He's a way better player. If you had your choice right now to go to our favorite teams, Pittsburgh and Las Vegas, I think we'd both take Devontae Smith over Zay Flowers. Yeah. Let's see. Who are some of the other guys here? Like Debo.
I wouldn't touch Debo.
Huge ceiling. Really low floor, too. Really low floor. What if he doesn't fit in? What if he gets hurt? Yeah. Christian Kirk, another one. I mean, is he going to thrive under Nico, or do they? Is it like the Cooper Cup JSN thing, and do they overlap each other's skill sets?
So we still need our third quarterback and one more running back.
All right, let's talk to Captain J here real quick. He's like me, I think. At first, I wasn't excited about Geno, but he is the best QB we've had in the past 10 to 15 years. So he's putting him ahead of Derek Carr. What do you think of that?
I mean, overall, he's probably better, but I don't see much of it. Like, Geno's more of a gunslinger, but like, I don't think either of them are all that good.
I think, you know what, now that he's putting that into my head, I think he probably is. Other than the 2016 Carr. I mean, he's top 15.
Derek Carr pre-leg break.
Yeah, that first year.
One of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, I did too. I thought he was going to be a top 5 guy. I thought we had the steal of the draft. So.
You want to take some Jackson Dart, add to our rookie collection?
No. Do you?
I mean, do that or we got to get our running back right now. And it would be Etienne for me.
We took him last time, right?
Yeah, so we got to make 8 seconds.
I'm fine. I'm fine with whoever you want.
We'll just take Etienne now. Get the quarterback last round. Because if we don't get Dart, I personally think we should just go ahead and scroll down. And where's he at? Or did he already come off the board? Let's see. No, there he is. All the way down at 438, Mason Rudolph.
I don't think they cannot. He has to be there to be the backup, right? If you go into your season with Mason Rudolph as your starting quarterback, every season ticket holder should get opportunity for a full refund.
No, I totally agree with you.
That's malpractice.
But now think about this from the way this is playing out. It's Russ, it's Aaron Rodgers, or they have to draft someone.
Come on, even Russ is way better than Mason Rudolph.
But look, they almost seem like they've burned this bridge with Russ. I would not be surprised if Russ just goes to Cleveland.
I'm not going to be surprised if Tomlin, like behind closed doors, is like, forget this weirdo.
Yeah, I also wouldn't be surprised if Rodgers is just using us as leverage and ends up somewhere else or just goes home. And at that point, are they going to start the rookie spread? Probably not. So they bring in
who would the rookie be? Jackson Dart?
Yeah, so it's probably going to be Mason Rudolph. It's going to start.
What about the other two? The Beck kid didn't come out, right?
No, Beck's went to Miami.
And he transferred?
Yeah, he transferred to Miami.
Who's the Georgia quarterback this year?
I think they got a new guy coming in.
And then Ewers went to where? Michigan
He's in the draft.
Ewers is in the draft?
Yeah.
If you guys draft him, I will laugh at you.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do. I'm taking Mason Rudolph. I personally think there's a very good chance he's our quarterback this year.
I mean,
there's a very good
reason. There's not much else on the board.
There's a very good reason.
We kind of waited too long there.
There's a very good reason why they went out and got a guy who's played in this system before for $8 million. And I think it is as insurance if they end up with nothing in this quarterback market.
Yeah, and I guess you might as well.
Because could we see Jameis Winston playing in a Tomlin offense? Probably not. They probably end up benching him after his second or third pick six.
That's either the best fit. Like either he like thrives under.
They would yank him out of the lineup so fast when he starts making mistakes.
Yeah.
So it's looking like Mason Rudolph. We're running out of options here.
Why didn't Cleveland bring Jameis back?
I don't know, to be completely honest.
It's so weird how nobody likes Jameis. How do all these teams just let him slide out?
I think
all his teammates like him.
I honestly think it's the thing of like, he's not good enough to win you enough games to be good, but he's not bad enough to lose you enough games to get you these picks you want. So he's kind of just there. Like, that's the thing. He falls right in the middle. Like, he's not bad, he's not good, but just messes up a lot of stuff if you're trying to get good draft picks.
You know what my guess is on Jameis? I don't think he's a hard worker.
I wouldn't be surprised on that either.
Because there's no way all these teams let him go.
I also
and they
wouldn't
keep
be surprised.
And they keep these players that are way worse.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's just out there running his own plays too, where he's just
he might just be a like yeah.
Tell me if you're like a wide receiver like Jerry Jeudy, it just likes to go up and down the field. Like you get this quarterback, it's just like, yeah, bro, just run down the field. I'll find you.
Right. They keep doing run plays and he keeps
audibles right out of it and just throws the ball 50 yards down the field.
Yeah, that's that's all right. I think we solved some of the NFL problems here.
You want to go over a couple teams? We'll go over our Omega Kings and we'll go over ours and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, and I think I did a good job about not relitigating the Genty debate too much. And I didn't even talk that much crap about Aaron Rodgers today.
No, you didn't.
Hey, did you see, before we go to the teams, there's one other piece of news. Did you see that Kirk Cousins did not get released?
Doesn't that make sense, though?
Why?
They really can't, like, he would be dead cap anyway, so you can't spend the money. So you just sit him on the bench and pay him the money anyway. And then God forbid Penix gets hurt, who was a very injury prone in college. Let's not forget that. You still have a reliant quarterback coming off the bench. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true.
It wasn't like they could cut him and use the money. So you were just sending him home and he was going to be dead cap. And then if Penix gets hurt, you're absolutely dead.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's how I looked at it.
And we talked about Jameis in the locker room, right? I don't think anyone has a problem with Cousins.
No.
And I think he even handled his emotion well, right?
I also think even Cousins, because they said he tried to talk to the owner of Atlanta, was like, I'd like to go and like play somewhere. And the owner was like, yeah, like we're paying you all this money. Like we're probably not going to cut you. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's the type of guy that just like would storm out of the building and just be a cancer to the locker room from there. Like I think he would still
like
show
a really
up.
Quality human being.
Yeah, I think he would still show up, still train Penix and help him out and be the vet in the room because he's getting paid a lot of money to do it. Now he's not getting hit, so I think they'll be fine. I think that was the best idea they could have did.
All right, let's check out these teams. You want to pull up Omega Kings? And if anyone else was in the chat, let us know right now.
Yeah, he was in the one spot. He took Jamar Chase. Nobody's going to hate that. Then he went McBride, Jonathan Taylor, Jamison Williams, Zay Flowers, Judkins, Jaden Reed, Kyler Murray, Josh Downs, Tucker Kraft, DeAndre Swift, rookie Trey Harris, Trey Benson, Dylan Sampson, Tyler Algier, Shador Sanders, Alec Amanor, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones went in round 18 in this draft. Yoshi Voss, and then I believe it's Jordan Hunter, the running back he took in his final round. So he went with a 3-7-8-2 build.
I think his team's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I like his team. He
picked a lot of the players that we like, but at the same time, right, aren't we all kind of following in the same deal? Because, right, he listens to Meg and Steve's show. I listen to Meg and Steve's show, right? He listens to Justin and Andrew's show. I just got done listening to Justin and Andrew's show. So we're all going to kind of like and be high on some of the same players. But that being said, there's a lot of the players on his team that I wish we could have drafted.
No, I totally agree.
You know, and we talked about Judkins before. You know, we really like him. I mean, you talked about Chase.
I think Jonathan Taylor could have another big year.
No, if I take McBride where he took him, what do you think? I just don't want to take a tight end in round 2.
It feels a little high for him, but he is the most targeted guy in Arizona. He had very, very bad touchdown variance last year. If that flips his way, he is going to put up a lot of fantasy numbers.
Yeah.
Like
I just wonder if a guy like JSN or Tyreek is just a little safer.
Like he had 147 targets. He had 111 catches. He had almost 1,200 yards, but he only had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
If he has a good touchdown variance this year, like he's gonna have very good numbers. But here we'll go over our team next. We went with I think this is the build I've done pretty much most of my team.
I think every single draft we've done, we've had Derrick Henry. Tyler?
Well, not even just that. We always go 3-7-7-3. Got to go Derrick Henry where he's at. I love this little Philly trio, getting A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts in those next 3 rounds. McMillan, Travion Henderson, George Pickens, we got him late where he was going. Caleb Johnson, your favorite pick, Tyler Warren, Scatabo, Kincaid, Rico Dowdle, Geno Smith, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Wright, Wicks, Restrepo, Fannin Jr., Trevor Etienne, and then Mason Rudolph. I like our team a lot. I like the fact that we could funnel in Philly's pass game, and we're pretty much just outside of Goddard. We have everything but Saquon. I like the Derrick Henry call. If McMillan ends up in Vegas, we have Geno also to go with that. And I think Warren could end up in Denver. Or no, not Denver. He could end up in Jacksonville and be Trevor Lawrence's main target. So I think we got a nice squad.
Yeah. All right, Tyler, final thoughts before we run this back next week. And dude, things are finally coming together for me now, Tyler. I got the new car today. I have heat now, so I don't have the propane appointments coming. I mean, I think I'm going to be on time next week, Tyler.
Like sound of that.
On time. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We have a ton of people watching. We got a lot on Twitter, a lot more on Twitter than YouTube. We just got to throw this out there, though. The YouTube channel is Fanspeak. Please head on over. When we get to 500 subscribers, we're going to push that. I really like DraftKings. I know that the underdog layout is a little more user-friendly, but the rooms here are a little softer, and that's kind of what I'm going for, right? It's almost like, Tyler, if we were playing poker, we're kind of going to the janky Cal Neva casino. We're not going to the nice Grand Sierra.
Yep.
The games are a little softer, even though the ambiance isn't as nice. So we'll be back next week. Hopefully, I'm on time. Tyler's been a stud. It's been me. But I'm moving in here. I showed Tyler out the window last week, and I'll do a show from outside pretty soon once I'm on time. So final words, Tyler, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had another fun draft. We got a lot of rookies. We'll be back next week right around the same time.